All right, we live.
All right, let's get it. OPU, we are live. We are live. Very meaty chapter to say the least, right? A lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of timeline stuff, a
Living
lot
Spaces
of
is partnering with the iconic
continuity
Lazy
stuff,
Boy
a lot
brand to
of
bring you
people
a
that
collection of
using
Lazy Boy
words that they don't know
recliners
the
that
meaning
stand out.
of. Like retcon,
Misogynist.
for example. That's I guess retcon is a big example of that. But a lot of stuff. And I think it was a good chapter. It's a bad chapter for Shanks haters, but I feel like every chapter of One Piece is a bad chapter for Shanks haters. So whatever. Anyway, fellas, how we doing? Y'all ready to hop into it?
Yeah.
Good.
Cool. All right. So this is One Piece, chapter 1167. This is OPU podcast, episode 66, like Germa. Wow. And of course, it would be an episode with a Sanji upscale. That is episode 66. Ain't that something?
This is Sanji upscale?
Wow. Yeah. Anything Shanks do? Come on, bro. You know this deal by now.
Oh, okay. I thought this was Top Man upscale because once again, when some Gorosei popped out, you saw who spoke first. I don't know. They speak in order of strength. That's all I know. And Mars is over there real quiet. That's all I know. Go ahead.
Flop man. What's good, Kyler Bill? All right. So, let's talk about Harold. Very, very big talking point. Last week I used a word that started with a C to describe Harold. And I think that remains true. But I do think people are giving Harold a hard time to an extent. I understand.
You was one of them.
Huh? I mean, I can do it. I can do it and understand why he's doing what he's doing. Like, yeah, he out there, he tap dancing right now for sure. But I understand why he's doing it. But I think we should also just acknowledge that he's just doing it the wrong way. You can have a good reason behind you doing something. That don't mean what you're doing is correct. Some people act like he just has no type of explanation behind this. Like, we literally watched the reason why he's doing this. Is it stupid? Yes, but it doesn't make sense actually. But yeah, anyway, JJ, how you feeling about Harold, man?
I mean, I don't really think we got more from Harold in this chapter than what we've already known, other than the story. But I've always felt like well, first of all, let me just throw like this. This is why I felt like him being a conqueror was somewhat of an issue, because he's like bowing down to whoever was the last person he spoke to last. But I guess that's a separate circumstance. At the end of the day, when you want to do better for your people, sometimes you got to take losses. I feel like where his people was already good, and he was literally building a world government outside of the world government. But I guess, Ida's words just matter so much to him. Like, I guess what he was trying to do at the end of the day was make her proud. I feel like I'm kind of pulling that from nowhere, but he was a scoundrel until he ran up to her, and she was like, giants from all over the world got this bad rap because of what your people are doing. So he just thought, if my people are with the people with the good rep, maybe we have a good rep too. But reputation ain't always what matters at the end of the day. And, Luffy is our prime example. He says, think of whatever you want of me. I'm going to do what I want to do regardless. And he doesn't always paint it at a good light. But at the end of the day, the people that's there to see what he does are always able to say glowing things about him. And I think Harold really missed the point that he was such a good person, so that even the people who kind of was nervous about him initially, they saw how he moved, and once his country was full of famine and full of starvation and all those issues, people was happy to come and help them out. I don't understand from how that point you're not like, listen, the world government, maybe they like us, maybe they don't, but they got to figure out some things on their own. But what we doing over here is working. And Rock showed them that we could do something else and bring the world together. But Rox wasn't, really foretelling what his plans was. Because following someone that just says king of the world, that's a little tough. But I just think we're dealing with a confused man. And I think now that the one person that was able to talk sense to him is gone, he doesn't have any sense at all. And he just tap dancing, as you said. It's sad to see.
Man, I could not have said anything you just said better myself. JJ with the goaded monologue to start off the stream. I respect it, my boy.
It's just crazy how happy he is in this chapter.
Bro, he had the tattoo. Like when he was like he was posting with the tattoo. I was like, bro, chill out.
Bro, it looks like when oh no, I forgot what moment, but still, it's just sad that he's just
like,
so.
This is an honor, and it's
yeah.
It's like at some point we got to start recognizing red flags. Like, dude was like when Ethan Venus Juro was talking about God, Harold was like, God, what you mean? He was like, don't worry about it. He just keep going with it like.
We've never seen Harold this happy since he met Ida.
Yeah, two children ain't been this happy.
Yo.
It's just sad to see, man.
The problem with your graphics card, please ensure. Okay, I'm having some computer problems. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what that was about. But yeah.
All that stuff.
Well, while we're on the subject of Harold, though, I do think that in order to make up for all this, subservient attitude that he's showing right now, I think that he might be the man marked by flames. Because I think that with this relationship with Neptune, right? They're also talking about Loki and his daughter Shirahoshi, right? And then I didn't realize before, but apparently Shaggy or Mosa, which is the name of the transponder snail, there's some people already talking about it, theorizing it that it could have been Shirahoshi, but now they have like Mosa as an actual nickname for the girl. So
excuse me.
I think it probably is Shirahoshi. But the other thing is that we know where the 4 road poneglyphs come from, and it has to be the one from Big Mom, right? Kaido, Zoe, and Fishman Island. So the Fishman Island one is missing, and Man Marked by Flames is supposedly working with the world government, and also, right at the same time when he comes to visit Neptune and keep talking with him, that's the same time. It's post Roger era, post like what you call it? Oh, sorry, before Whitebeard comes in. So it could be him, man. He could have like taken it as like a sign, like I'm working for the government, but at the same time, if I take this poneglyph, keep it safe, maybe I have something to do or something like that. But I don't know. It just seems fishy. Literally.
Hopefully there's something that, not hopefully, but if I had to guess, I would say it seems like there's going to be something that just, because whenever Emu, excuse me, says that someone blundered or made a mistake, it's usually when somebody acts out against him, right?
Yeah.
So I guess there's going to be a point where Harold does, Emu or whatever asks for something and Harold just can't do it or refuses to do it, finally grows a backbone. And that's when he kind of wakes up. And maybe that's when the Man Marked by Flame stuff starts. And I guess that would kind of match up with the him, how it's theorized that he was a government person. Who said that? Shiryu?
Yeah, I'm looking at the panel, and it's basically pitch black shit. Creates whirlpools. He may have a devil fruit power, and then Shiryu's like, oh, I bet he's with the government, and like it will prevent any pirate from claiming the One Piece in the first place. So I think like it's low-key those two at once. Just I don't know. It just makes.
So you're saying you think Harold is the Man Marked by Flames? Harold
could very well be. I mean, he also died like in execution while like he was being burned down, right? Wasn't that the start of the backstory? I know that's what I'm saying. I think that like his death is fake in some way. Because I don't think he got Domi reversied or anything like that, but maybe something on stage. He had to like completely like absolve himself from being alive so that he could protect the poneglyph at least. But I don't know. That just could be headcanon.
And then if that's true, then I just feel bad for Loki at that point. Because that means Loki. Well, how long has Loki been sitting there for? Like 20 years, right?
Yep.
I thought it was Shanks beat him, right?
Oh, it was like 5
Or did he
years.
escape and then Shanks
like 6
sent him
years.
back?
It was like 14 or 6.
Yeah.
Those numbers stick out 14 or 6.
It's a long time. That's all I know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because I think
Giant,
Loki
like
left. Loki left after the ship, the stuff with Harold, and then that's when Shanks took him back and chained up. So it happened right before Shanks came a Yonko. Shanks been a Yonko for 6 years, so yeah, it's been like 6. Hey man, I'm interested in the Shanks meeting with Loki because that could kind of tie together like why Loki is aware. Like, let's say it is Shirahoshi, right? I think that's it could be a red herring because when you go back and look at the conversations Loki was having with the Mosa person, they were very respectful, yes, but they weren't nearly as timid as Shirahoshi is. Now you could say, hey, Shirahoshi meeting Luffy kind of, boosted her confidence or whatever. But it was also said that they had been speaking for a while too.
Yep.
So, in the story, Luffy was at Fishman Island probably like 2 months ago, if that. So I feel like, the Straw Hats ain't barely have known each other. So a while in One Piece definitely is iffy because even though it's been 1,000 chapters, the Straw Hats have sailed together for like a year, if that. But I like to assume that maybe it's like a 80% chance it's Shirahoshi right now, but he's trying to redirect. He's trying to do a red herring and misdirect us or whatever. And at the last moment, it's revealed to be a new character that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Well, Krow, do me a favor. You jump in real quick because you kind of like your voice is jumping a tad. But I would prefer if this was just Loki and Shirahoshi, even if it wasn't from a relationship standpoint. I just feel like bringing those two sovereigns together that the Sea Kings was talking about, and having to be people of this immense grandeur. I just would like it at this point. I don't really know, or I wonder how Shirahoshi and Loki scale next to each other. That's a really interesting thought. But Loki is a monster. But we was complaining before about how this story we continue to get a lot of questions and not enough answers. But we're getting in the voice of all things, and that's around the same time when the Sea Kings was having that conversation that Roger and Odin heard. So maybe we can start tying up specific loose ends when it comes to specific flashbacks all at one point. I think that would be really good in regards to storytelling. Make it a little easier for us to keep it all together. One Piece is a complex story, but everything ain't got to be completely complex.
That's true.
Yeah, and Shirahoshi, we know she's timid and she's always crying, but if she's been knowing Loki since the beginning, since she was a little kid, it's probably like a different dynamic between them. If she's more comfortable with him, she might be reacting different with Loki than everyone else, just because she knows Loki for a long time. She's comfortable with him. So it's probably a whole different dynamic from what we've seen with her.
The dynamic can still work because Loki is over aggressive and she's over pessimistic. So if she got any problems, Loki will clear that smoke up immediately. So
yeah,
works for me.
Yeah.
But it does make sense because the first thing,
an ancient giant and a Sea King having a child, like,
yeah, that's gonna be a.
We talk about Momonosuke.
That's a great love interest for Loki, bro.
That's a great one, yeah.
You might have to fight Sanji at the end of the arc.
Oof.
Mid-dev, Sanji with the
Loki will beat the hell out of Sanji. Loki would beat the hell out of Sanji. I'm sorry.
I think Toy would like to go down that route if that's the case.
But
now Zoro, on the other hand, good fight.
The dialogue does match up too, because he's like calling her, "Oh, that's why you're so weak," and then she's like kind of stuttering when she's talking to Loki, so it kind of does match up with Shirahoshi.
Yeah, I think like the general vibe is that like they're probably just friends, but main thing is that I don't
Yeah,
know.
but it's like an arranged marriage basically, but they're
Yeah,
probably
they
just
should
close friends for
yeah, no,
now.
just talking through things because they both low key have the same problems, right? Low key alone, isolation, Shirahoshi, right?
Yep.
Because she had to face Vander Decken, right?
Yeah.
Constantly closed off and staying in her room 24/7. So they had the same issue, so they could like talk it out.
Huh. And then I wonder. I guess I wonder who put the transponder snail there. Was it Gabon
That's a good
or
question.
Shanks?
Could be anyone, but
There
if I
has
had
to be
to
someone
guess,
like interfering with this or giving that one request. Like Loki's like, I want the transponder snail.
yeah, maybe it was like Harold, and like they've been like talking for a while, and then all of a sudden, uh, what you call it? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, then like it's the like you said, like just one request. Let me talk to this one friend that I've had for a long time, and then it makes it easier. Other than that, let's see. Move on because there's not much to talk about from there. But shit, Shanks rat allegations not anymore. Still there. I'm pretty sure they're dismissed, but people will still find a way.
Well, the
Hey man,
They're absolutely. They've been dismissed for a while, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
they're
Nah,
dismissed,
people will
but
still
at the
find
same
a
time,
way.
like there is some interesting things in this. I don't think it points in any direction for Shanks. But it's just interesting. Like, why does Shanks? Why did they swap swords?
Oh,
what?
Or was
the
that just like a mistake by Oda?
could be a mistake, but
Because he has
Griffin,
Shamrock
right?
has Shank's sword in this panel when they're walking together.
Yeah, because it does look like Griffin.
Dang, that's a deep
Honestly,
cut.
with
I ain't
Oda,
peep
it's
that.
so it's. I didn't peep that either. But honestly, knowing Oda, it could actually mean something.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it could be a mistake because I mean they look the same, but I don't know. I think it could be something, especially like it's interesting that sword if they did
well,
swap
they're
or maybe because if we're gonna assume that Shank's sword is probably one of the strongest swords in One Piece, and we already know Shamrock has the what is it called the devil fruit
Cerberus.
Cerberus, yeah. So I mean, both swords are really important or really powerful at the very least. And I think it's
Man,
interesting too. Maybe Shanks, because we know Shanks, if he was gifted this sword and he's like, we know his whole crew, they don't have devil fruits. If that's intentional, maybe he's like, you want to just trade swords. So I don't know. I think there's
Maybe it's the devil in the details. If they're trying to look for the who actually let the armory go or whatever, and they're able to see whose sword it is, isn't that more for them to say to the Holy Knights that Shamrock was the one to do the dirt as opposed to Shanks? So maybe Shanks did that to kind of cover himself. But then maybe he got caught with that sword again, so he ended up just running with it. Just an idea.
Actually, yeah. I
But
mean, in the panel when he's with Fisher Tiger is Griffin, and then when the
yeah,
reveal
yeah.
happened, they're switched. That actually does make sense.
yeah. So
Or
and
maybe
then
maybe Shamrock's doing all Shank's work in Shamrock's name. Man, once you bring twins in here, like all the possibilities is up. Like Oda knew what he was doing.
and now who was it? Harold or Fisher Tiger? Someone said, "Oh, I think I noticed that face." I feel like that's a
bro.
I feel like that's something with Roger, but I guess it could be just Figurlin. But if you look at Shanks in this chapter, he reminds me more of Roger with that haircut. Figurlin, you can definitely see the similarity too, but I don't know. I really get like a Roger kind of vibe from Shanks in this chapter as far as design
Bro,
goes.
his design as a Holy Knight is amazing, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. It's better than even Shamrock's.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's funny
It's
too,
clean, bro.
because
Oda cooked.
he has the bandage. So I guess we're assuming that he just fought Blackbeard before this recently, right?
That's what I'd have to
Which
Yeah,
is
he
assume.
really.
cooked.
I want to know how. So Blackbeard is a year older than Sharon. So Blackbeard been 25 years old. Well, he'd already still be on the Whitebeard ship at this point, right?
I think so, right? Because
Yeah, I
that's
assume so. It would be interesting if that was one of Shanks' missions as a Holy Knight, and that's why why he fought Blackbeard.
Because people were
Was
looking at
something
the
with the
time.
Whitebeard pirates.
That could be the case. Everything they're trying to figure out, right? They were like talking about how Shanks, I think it was at 17 or 18. I forgot what age, but when like he was still down like in the surface level, he was still making his pirate crew. That's when he recruited Yasop and them, and then now he's at the Holy Land. So if he came at 24, that means he had like a few years of time, but I'm assuming that Blackbeard's like encounter with him is the reason why either he came up or like just something happened. I don't know. I feel like it's a huge trigger.
And then
I'm just wondering now we're at the point where we was imagining Whitebeard was looking at Shanks and Whitebeard was saying, your face reminds me of something of a specific circumstance. We was imagining it was God Valley. And now we're at a point where Harold is saying the same thing too. Like maybe they were just a third circumstance of which these three people met somewhere, and we still ain't got that part of the story neither. Because it's a lot of blanks being left out.
That's true. But I feel like when it comes to Shanks specifically, right? We're always gonna get blanks. So especially because of the fact that he moves in complete silence. So with Oda, like anytime Shanks pops up, I know there's, like you say, JJ, a lot more questions than answers. So just gotta move with it.
Have we ever got an answer of like when Shanks' crew was actually assembled? Because I would imagine like if you was a Yonko at this point of the story, y'all would have been together for a while to be. Well, I guess only took Luffy 2 years, so I guess that negates that. But I'm just surprised like Ben Beckman is still waiting to be somebody's vice captain at this point. Like he's like 45, just roaming around smacking up. I don't get it. Or maybe they're all doing some espionage stuff at this point.
No clue.
Crazy.
And I wonder how long Shanks was involved with the Holy Knights. And is because he can't still be involved with them, right?
Yeah.
Do we think do we think he cut his ties when he became a Yonko, or do you think like he's still kind of playing both sides?
To me, I think
it's
the fruit itself. He's
when he stole the fruit. Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then I think that's why he also needed or completely changed his path, because I was checking out some people talking about it beforehand, but Roger, his discussion with Shanks, right? First, he wanted to be king of the pirates. He wanted to find the One Piece, do everything. Then Roger talks with him, and all of a sudden, things change. And then from there on, like even he disappointed Buggy. He wanted to do other things. He wanted to be a normal pirate, but not go for it entirely. So I feel like there's some sort of balance there. And now he's in the government infiltrating, and then he later on attacks the government ship and then gets the Gumu Gumu no Mi. I think there's a reason behind it, and I think these actions that are he's doing right now probably lead up to it in some way, but who knows?
Yeah, because we do know that Shanks
that's the information he's probably trying to get.
Shanks already had his crew when he stole the fruit, because we saw in that little flashback with Who's Who that Ben Beckman was there when they stole it. So that means he probably, unless it's a similar situation like with Harold, and they kind of let him do his own thing as a pirate on the side, But I feel like he probably, I don't think they would allow that, just knowing who Shanks is. So he probably left the Holy Knights before that to create his crew.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been a couple
That's
years
it. Like
before
this was 15 years ago. He stole the gum fruit 14 years ago. So, I'm kind of, stealing a little bit from what I saw. Morge, I feel like did a really good video about it recently, but he literally said he spent the year within the Holy Knights to like obtain information in regards to finding that fruit, which, Roger got that information and told it to Shanks to be able to move forward with. So, you saw like the second that the fish and tiger and everybody got free, the very next day Shanks is all in Shamrock's head asking information about the Holy Land. Like every day he's up there, he's trying to get more intel to learn more about this area and more about where to get that fruit. And I think he used that year to figure out where the fruit was, whether it be at Elbath and that was the forbidden fruit a while ago, or the world government was able to figure it out and they just knew it was on who's ship.
Yeah.
You hear
Makes
me?
sense. Yeah, we hear you.
Now we can. Yeah.
Bruh,
You back
my
in the game.
graphics card just took a shit on me on my computer, so it's cooked. I had to get on my laptop, bruh. Oh boy, I need another PC. Anyway, what we talking about, boys? Shanks.
Talking about Shanks. We're just trying to piece the timeline together of his crew and, when he fought Blackbeard, like all this stuff of Shanks and the Holy Knights.
Okay. Understood.
Not
All
to
right.
mention Hall of Fame.
JJ mentioned it. Oh yeah, he was cooking Shanks DiCaprio, I guess is his new name, but JJ mentioned Morge's video, and I also agreed that was very well done and definitely put together the timeline in a good way. Because we know he met Yassop, what was it, like 22 years ago?
Yeah.
And that was before all of this, so
okay.
he might have had his...
Because he was searching for Yassov specifically, so that means he was...
That was his first,
yeah, so he had his crew before.
He had a plan put together already, bro.
Yeah, he probably put them together, dipped out for like he said, look, I feel like everybody that he got to join, his original core members, he let them know what was going on, you know what I'm saying? And
I wonder, because I guess he's a celestial dragon. They don't have a choice. He's kind of just royalty by blood. But I just wonder how they can trust Shanks if, he's with the Roger Pirates for so long, and then he already had his crew. But like,
you gotta think about it, bro. Was he known as a Roger Pirate?
I think most people will know that.
I don't think that most people were checking for a cabin boy. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's like Buggy has risen to Yonko status, but by the time we was at Marineford, him being a former Roger Pirate was news to the whole world. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'd say that his warlord and Yonko status is because of the fact that people found out. Like, it added a huge layer to it.
But yeah, I don't think that it's really that known that because Harold sees him, and I guess Harold would probably be the most knowledgeable about the outside world. But even him is like, you look familiar, but what do I know you from? So maybe he like knows of Shanks because of his ties to Roger, but he just can't a cabin boy. Like right now, that's like nobody knew Momonosuke. Well, I guess he was a kid, but nobody knew about the Minks traveling with Roger. Like them not the main crew members. They're not really that important in the grand scheme. So I don't think like the world was just aware. They probably knew Shanks was a pirate, and it's also like I see a lot of people making the comparison to Doflamingo, but the difference, Shanks was lost at birth versus Doflamingo's dad willingly leaving. So like taking Shanks back is like just reclaiming your property versus Dofi's like, no, bro, your dad left, y'all not coming back. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I guess it's like saying like, are you really going to remember like the 10th man on the OKC Thunder?
You know, anybody worry about Aaron Wiggins? You know what I'm saying? Nah, he ain't the 10th, but that boy cold. But nah, yeah, exactly. Or like, you know, who was the 10th man on the Bulls in '98?
Yeah, the other Jalen Williams. Oh, the other Jalen Williams. I was going to say.
I ain't gonna lie, he was. He looked. This ain't basketball. Let's not talk basketball. Yeah, the one that like Duke Dennis though. He played some good defense on Jokic in the playoffs, man. But in 20 years, nobody gonna be thinking about that Jalen Williams. I guess you know what I'm saying.
I forgot what I was gonna say now, but
I think it makes sense though. A lot of people, yeah, I feel like.
Well, what I was gonna say was, with Shamrock, you got Shamrock and Shanks. As far as what it seems in these panels, it seems like it doesn't look like Shamrock hates Shanks, or it seems like they got some kind of mutual respect for each other. And Shanks is obviously acting, but it's just interesting to me how quickly, like, they just bring him into the family. I don't know, it just seems kind of weird. Shamrock doesn't seem too suspicious of Shanks, and like, is Shanks really that good of an actor?
We've already seen how incompetent the Holy Knights are, so
that's one.
I mean, it's not too far off base.
I feel like even at Elbath, when he explained that Shanks was his little brother, he didn't say it like with hatred for Shanks. It was just, it kind of felt like he was like, it's unfortunate that Shanks decided that he didn't want to be a part of our family. I feel like the Figureland family is different, and I think that it's going to be a play later on where, because they're the only Holy Knights that showed up on that spread. I personally think that the Figureland family might try to usurp the throne and take over for themselves. Personally, I mean, that's just an idea I've had.
I see what you're saying. So it's like a Darth Vader kind of like.
I mean, Garling seems like a plotter, so
yeah, he done made it all the way to fucking Gorsay. What's the next step? Like, because at some point, I feel like it's gonna be similar to like with Rocks. Like, you can't keep too many people under you that think that they should be top dog. You know what I'm saying? And it might come to a head with Emu as well. Like, you had the Figureland family under you. It might not be Garland. It might be Shamrock. He's like, I'm not finna keep following this shadow figure that don't even leave the throne room. You know what I'm saying? We got bigger plans. But, the comments are interesting. Anyway,
I'm not gonna lie. I get why some people would be mad that like the especially the contract itself ties in perfectly, because we saw beforehand when Shanks was with Gabon, like the mark on his arm. Now it's being explained what it is, and obviously his arm got bitten because of Luffy. So it literally could be like a lot of different things, but like if you look at it from a moral standpoint, right? Shanks is technically the first person that Luffy liberated, right? Because he was tied down to Emu and the government with his arm, right? But now that it's biting off, he's free, and now he's a Yonko, does whatever he wants. So, I mean, the point is that like most cases, like we can say that it's trash writing because like it's like so neatly connected, but at the same time, that's kind of the beauty of One Piece, is that because it's so large, it leaves stuff open ended, so it's able to, when time changes its course, allow things to properly close. So it depends on like how things are going, because the story is ever flowing, ever changing. I mean, like what was the original timeline for like Alabasta? It was supposed to like end when?
5 years, 6 years, I guess.
Around that time, right?
But I think the thing that a lot of people take with that statement and like kind of misconstrue it, the story was supposed to end in 6 years or whatever, but him, like, people think like the Warlords is where it's supposed to end, but I feel like it was said in the interview, him adding the Warlords is where it bloated the story. It was originally supposed to be just Luffy and him going against the Yonko, but adding the Warlords is what, so people are like, well, the story was supposed to end at a pre-time skip. No, the pre-time skip was just bloated a bit because of the addition of the Warlords. But in another regards to like that Shanks stuff and people saying it's a retcon, like, Like I said, people don't know what words mean. Adding context to a situation from the past is not a retcon. Retcon means retroactive continuity. You're literally going back and you're just completely changing something to fit the story. But adding context isn't a retcon. Shanks in chapter 1, we never see the part of his arm that has the tattoo on it. It's covered. He has his sleeves rolled up to his elbows. So to say that him having the tattoo or whatever is a retcon is just not true because nothing ever showed Shanks not having the tattoo. And on top of that, if anything, we know that Shanks is a powerful pilot and could have easily used hockey or whatever to stop the Sea King from biting his arm off. So this just adds more proper context and makes the moment make sense. Why he let the Sea King bite his arm off.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like
this is why agenda piece is hella dangerous though, because like when we make like assumptions in general with the story, then it tends to lead to how we think the story should go versus when Oda like has his like line of what he wants to do, and if it deviates from that, then it's bad writing, quote unquote. So we got to be careful with that.
And I mean, it's obviously most of it isn't it's in bad faith. Like a lot of these people just want the story to be trash at this point. And I mean, why are you still reading or watching One Piece at that point? If you really hate it that much, I don't know. People, make strange decisions all the time. But I guess if we're speaking about retcons, I just dropped my phone. We can talk about what most people are calling the biggest retcon, which is the Fisher Tiger situation.
Mm.
Now, I think the narrative, here's what I think. This is my theory. One Piece fan, let's say Shanks haters, right? Which is more likely than not a Mihawk fan or Admiral fan. They don't like when Oda gives Shanks these moments of this shine, or make him seem like a very important character, because the more and more Oda glazes Shanks, it kind of bleeds into the idea that, well, if he does want Shanks to be stronger than Mihawk, he can make it true. Like, or even just like a Roger level pilot. It's something that can be done. But most people just don't think that he would be willing to do it. But the more love he gets, it's like we don't like that because that means, well, he might fuck around and make him stronger than Mihawk. I think that sometimes we just make our decisions and we work backwards from it. You know what I'm saying? Let's just look at the story from what we've gotten. I don't think that this ruins Fisher Tiger's escape at all. It just adds context to it. It makes it make sense. How would one man go to Marriageois, free all of these slaves, and leave with no help? Would that be dope? Yeah. But does this not make it more realistic? It does. So,
and it wasn't even that much help.
Literally.
Well, I'll tell you this. When the Holy Knights were first introduced, my biggest issue is now we have Holy Knights, Gorosei, and how did Fisher Tiger pull this off? To me, that never made sense. So you have to kind of explain that. I guess now that Shanks is here, that is like the way to explain it. Otherwise, it would have been worse if he didn't explain it.
Yeah, we just watch and I think the only thing it does is mess up the idea that he climbed, like he left. He was a slave, he escaped, and he left and went back. And, they say he climbed the red line or whatever.
And my biggest thing was always like, because
I don't know.
It's fine if the Gorosei aren't themselves going to fight Fisher Tiger, but we're going to assume that now that the Holy Knights are introduced, no one stepped up and tried to take him out. So, but if the job is a lot easier than what it seems, that just makes a lot more sense.
And it doesn't take anything from Fisher Tiger either, because it's still his amazing feat, because he could have just escaped by himself.
Yeah, he could, and at least he still had the balls to do it. Like he was going to do it either way.
So just him getting a little, but that is true, Tornado. And I think that, I don't know if this was the implication, but when he kind of like told on his deathbed, when he was telling the Sun Pirates that, like all of that story was dope or whatever. But in reality, I was a slave. I don't know if that was kind of debunking the climbing the red line theory. I mean, myth or whatever. But I think that's you can take it that way. But that's the only thing I think kind of gets a little misconstrued in this whole addition to the story. But this still just makes more sense. Him doing what he did and having one person to just open the armory. That's it. It ain't like Shanks went from cell to cell and freed all the slaves himself and made Fisher Tiger sit down and watch. He just opened the armory. If that ruins it,
yeah, he just
if
opened it
that
up and
ruins the
told him where it
story, then I
was.
don't know, bro. They just, like I said, people don't like when Shanks gets stuff like this because you gotta, at some point, you gotta confront the idea that yeah, Oda just does love Shanks that much, bro. Like it's just what it is.
You know what's funny too is when we first seen that panel of Shanks helping Fisher Tiger, I thought it was Mihawk because it looks kind of like the Seraphim Mihawk.
And so here's my question as well, though: if the bandage on his eye, well, did he have the bandage in that panel, or was his? Because it is weird. No, Fisher Tiger, he punched his eye and ripped the bandage off. Never mind. So the Blackbeard fight was very recent, assumingly, right?
Yeah. So what I said earlier, I said maybe one of Shanks' first missions with Shamrock is something to do with the Whitebeard pirates, and they had to maybe try to, I don't know, try to get information from them, or they're just kind of there's something going on with Whitebeard. They had to confront them, and then that's maybe how Shanks got his scar.
It seemed, but I feel like from the story, for Shanks having to explain what happened, it would seem as if Whitebeard wasn't there. And Blackbeard probably was off on his own doing something. Shanks caught him. So it could have been them. They could have sent Shanks to go and capture, Rox's bloodline.
And he took an L with Shamrock.
I mean,
that's a bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah, you're right. The boys would lose. I don't give a fuck what kind of hidden power Blackbeard got. Both of them would not lose to him. So actually, no. Let me fix it. It had to be something though. But I always thought it was from when Shanks was like a little younger than with that age, and maybe still with the Roger Pirates and when they was having one of their famous clashes that happened then. But now we saw the last clash, so I don't know.
But that is interesting though, because if Shanks is fighting Blackbeard as a as like a holy knight or training to be a holy knight, that's really like an interesting twist because now it's their confrontation. Before it would just be Shanks as a pirate, but now it really does. And like in Blackbeard's mind, it's like, yeah, this is the will of D. This is destiny. I'm fighting Shanks as a celestial dragon. So I think that's an interesting twist to the whole fight.
And we can assume that the people with the shallow sea don't have the healing, right?
I'm assuming, yeah.
So yeah.
Because that's Shanks' eye probably would have healed.
Yeah.
People need to accept that Shanks is at least the fourth most important character in One Piece. I mean, yeah, bro. Like
that also makes sense why Harold was wounded the way he was.
Because they don't heal. They probably get healing with the second level, the one that Killingham got and Shamrock had.
Yeah. The one that sells your soul, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, technically the first one is too, but they don't really understand it until, they don't get the deepest sea contract until they understand of God's existence and completely accept it.
And I wonder where does the Mihawk fight? Oh, go ahead, preach.
I was just gonna quickly say I don't want Shanks to become possessed by Emu.
I mean, him cutting off his arm probably was to stop that, though, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Because I'm assuming, if it's some type of devil magic to get the tattoo, it's not easy to remove it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you sell your soul, then your soul is not up to you to be free. But I mean, if just cutting your arm off, that's a sacrifice to make. So maybe Emu does possess that fish, the Lord of the Coast at some point in the story, though, because Shanks' arm was in his belly. You know what I'm saying?
Oh Lord,
that would be funny. Such a funny callback, but nah. Let's see. Oh, also, W conclusion in terms of Loki, right? Thought it was good character development for him, right? Accepting his new mom and like understanding like how emotions and like even Ida's patience throughout time, constantly like telling like everyone, nah, Loki's cool. He's a good kid. Still have the same love for him, and it just goes to show that it paid off, even though Loki was like crashing out as a kid at first.
It's just what's the
I mean,
simulator?
How far back was this meeting with Harold and what's his name? The Fishman? Neptune. This was 15 years ago.
I think it's 20 because 20 years ago.
20.
Yeah.
It's
So
just kind of crazy
case,
to me. Like you're arranging a marriage and grooming your daughter with like she's not even born yet, bro. That's crazy. Like, isn't that kind of wild? Like I mean, I get it. Like their royalty, this is like their tradition and everything, but that's just crazy to think about. How old was Loki when this was going on? He must have already. I mean, they age different too. The Giants age different, but like still, bro.
That is nuts. But I guess I mean because I think if you do I think Loki is like the same age
20
as Luffy.
Probably. He's probably not too much older than Shirahoshi.
I think he's 19, bro.
Yeah, so I guess 16 and 19 isn't the craziest thing, but
hey man,
no,
he's 19 in giant years.
Nah, still
he's 63 in giant years, but he would be 19 to 21 in human years.
Bro,
in regular people years, he's in his 60s. It's way different.
I'll be honest, I don't trust Oda at all because of the fact that he knew Bonnie was 12 and the whole time, like outfit choices and especially Toei, what was going on. That's bullshit. So I hope it doesn't go that route. I'm like praying for it because it honestly is like a major reason and like a like pitfall against One Piece in terms of why people are put off with like.
But let's be. But this is like a real aspect of the world, so I wouldn't say it's like because you can't. You got to still look at what like a good portion of the world, even in our world, is still operating under this type of system. So there's still some realism to it, where this is.
And if you think about it, my bad. The Adam Tree Princess and the Adam Tree Prince and the Eve Tree Princess being an arranged marriage just makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, age wise, it just looks weird.
I mean, because we could say it this way: they're not married or anything yet. I mean, Loki's in prison and in hell, so they could still be like maybe in a few years or whatever. But yeah, if we're looking at just numbers wise, not looking at what One Piece is with like the Giants aging different, it just looks crazy, bro.
Yeah,
it's Bill Belichick's type joint, bro.
I just
a legend.
But still, I just think that like it would be a better route if there's just friends. Hopefully,
it's so funny because there was this Sanji. I mean, this Loki fan page that was always trying to shit on Sanji for, his past dealings. And once these spoilers came out with the Mosa stuff, bro, deactivated his page. Like, hey, if you go smell to somebody, stand on it, bro. Like, no, run. Everybody have all that smoke until it's your turn. Then you want to run, bro. That's sad, man.
Yeah.
But I do wonder where does the Mihawk duel? Because that's a good point, Tornado. It's just one fight. People like, I don't know where the interpretation, maybe it was the anime or something, but the interpretation that they just had multiple duels spanning across time, it was just one fight. I wonder where does it fit in the timeline now, though?
See, now I'm very I
don't know.
interested.
I mean, it was one fight, but they're perceived as rivals. I think that's where the assumption is, where they had more fights.
Exactly. So I'm trying to see where like.
Wait, I thought it was numerous times.
Well, it's like implied, but it's not. We've heard of the one fight. They've never said like specifically
when,
multiple.
Beats up with him, like, and he's like, "Oh, you're like many duels with like Hawkeye and countless different enemies, but who'd you lose your arm to?" And then Shanks is like, "I just bet it on the new generation and whatnot." So I think that's when he was talking about it. But let me double check.
I don't think it was confirmed to be just one, bro.
Well, like in the
Be
Whitebeard
honest.
scene, I think he even specifies that one fight with Mihawk. I don't think he meant it as it was like you guys only fought one time, but I think he meant that was the big one. That was like the deciding battle.
Well, the wording is so I think I know where the misconstruing of it comes from. Where Whitebeard is like, it was a long time ago, but the years passed by. Many, and then he's like, there aren't many people who speak of the legend anymore, and he's like, your duel with Hawkeye.
Yeah.
It's still fresh in my memory.
Yeah,
like,
I just read it.
So
22 years passed by so fast. Many consider them as legends. Even the duel between you and Hawkeye is still news to many.
yeah, so he's referring to like multiple instances of multiple things, legends, but the duel itself, he's like talking about that like it's a one-off thing. But I mean, I think that their rivalry would. My bad, I just forgot to talk. I think that their rivalry is more than just who wants to be the world's strongest swordsman. Though. Like maybe they were friends for a long time. I think that duel came about when Shanks was ready to start his crew, and he tried to say, Miyagi, I want you to be my first member, and they was like, no, we're gonna fight for it. You know what I'm saying? They probably they still made it, and the answer was never. The question was never answered of who was stronger.
So fight for the
On a
captain
quick Google
spot.
search, it says
I could see
the
it.
fight was more than 12 years ago. So we may be coming up to that time period within this. I mean, I doubt we'll discuss that in this flashback, but it will be around this time period since we're at least 14 years ago from present time.
And I know I'm
right now.
I'm gonna piss off a lot of Shanks fans. I genuinely believe Mihawk won that fight. I don't care what anyone says, bro. He won.
I think it was a draw.
I think Mihawk is like, I don't want to be in a crew. And Shanks is
I
like,
think it was most likely a draw.
What if I win? Then you can join my crew. And he's like, okay, I'll take. Because I think Mihawk still has that competitive spirit where he's like, I have to prove I'm the strongest swordsman. Mm-hmm. So fine, then if you could beat me, then yeah, it had to be a draw. But honestly, I would side with Mihawk.
I think
because he has the title, bro. He has the strongest swordsman title. That had to come from something.
I think it's because with the duel with Shanks, I think Mihawk lost by hair most likely, like hella close. But I think he lost, and that's why like when Shanks lost his arm, he got salty and like he's like like I lost to you, right? And while you're at your peak physical form, and now like my motivation to become the world's strongest swordsman, doing all this, I've achieved it, and now you're half of what you were before. So,
but how is Shanks not the world's strongest swordsman then? If he beat Mihawk,
yeah,
he lost his arm. But that goes.
But even before that, I
don't think that the title is like I don't look at the title like a WWE belt. I don't think they're fighting for the title of world's strongest swordsman. I think that at just some point in the story, Mihawk was just recognized as the world's greatest swordsman.
But they might not be fighting for it directly. But
if Shanks on record beat Mihawk, even in the future, he wouldn't get that title.
Yeah, because think about it, like
because Shanks still would have beat him.
Because Morgan's is out here, like he's like, oh, this is like the battle of the decade, so this has to be like a big title that comes from it. So they just named Mihawk, if he won, the strongest from that fight.
And that's another thing. Maybe neither one of them would win to become the world's strongest swordsman from that fight. There could have still been somebody out there that had to be defeated for it to be considered the world's strongest swordsman. So that was just on the. But I think it was a draw because
that's true.
When Mihawk,
it had to be a draw.
When Mihawk pulls up the Shanks, no, you good. He's like, oh, did you come to settle our duel or whatever? So if you're settling something, that to me, well, at first I was of the idea that they fought multiple times and it was like a back and forth thing. But if it was just one duel and you coming to settle it, then that means there couldn't have been a defined winner, right?
That also doesn't make sense. And then with that, like because he lost his arm, it's like a duel never to be resumed.
Yeah, like now we can't really give a true answer because I don't think your swordsmanship is gonna be at its peak anymore because you don't have an arm. Even if you losing your arm didn't make you weaker, your sword skills are gonna by it naturally just has to be weaker with one arm.
Krow, you remember when you had a theory that Mihawk was a holy knight. Now Shanks is like, do you still think that's possible? Because a crew of Shamrock, Shanks, and
the,
Mihawk would be the craziest
Boy,
crew.
imagine if those three and Dofi like would have stayed Holy Knights. This is under the assumption Mihawk was on that. Pirates would be in fucking trouble. But,
it'd be over.
Yeah,
Emu
but
would rule forever.
I do think he was one for sure.
And if that's true,
now that we got the shallow
like,
sea stuff, maybe he was shallow sea.
If Mihawk was like, if let's just go with that theory, that would bring a lot more attention to Shanks and Mihawk's battle too. Like, there's more history there than we know.
And they like, bro, why they got the same birthday, bro? Like at first,
yeah,
I mean, Mihawk got the same birthday. Like at first, I was like they might be brothers, but now we got Shamrock. Well, they don't gotta be brothers to have the same birthday. But that just shows me that their paths. Because you remember in that video we did, that path. I think they got opposing paths. Shanks was the celestial dragon taken in by pirates and raised by them. Well, I think Mihawk was born to pirates, taken in by celestial dragons, rose his rank up to maybe get the shallow sea or the deep sea, but he left to go be a pirate. Both of them wound up leaving and going to be pirates, but they just got there using the opposite route to me.
Yeah, and well, because Mihawk still has those like holy references, the cross and Yoru and just his whole design.
And Yoru's name, like Yoru being knight, is gonna be important with all the Dawn mythology, with like Luffy or whatever bringing the sun. Yoru being knight is gonna be very important. I feel. Some people were saying, what if that was Nika's sword or Emu's sword, and Mihawk stole it before he left the Holy Land?
I mean, Yoru is a giant cross. That's what the sword is like. There's no way you could look at it any other way. Oda's definitely been planning something for that.
We're talking about Luffy. I just wanted to point out something. Like while like rewatching Slam, like old school scenes, since retcon pieces low key like kind of the topic going around. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's low key the exact opposite. There's a lot of scenes in the anime specifically where like if you look at it, there's clear like sun imagery, and it's like Luffy coming in to save the day, and it's directly tied to the sun. Like with Alabasta coming in to save Vivi, like as Crocodile's about to like absolutely kill everybody, comes on top of Pell, sun's beaming on top of him, like in a huge clear shot, comes in, saves Vivi. Skypiea, right? Sky's clouded over. As soon as he hits an L, sky clears, brings the sun. And the bell ringing too. Thriller Bark, shadows, right? People can't go out in the sun for years and they stay in this dark, gloomy place, right? As soon as he beats Moria, right? Sun starts shining on him. They can live in the sun once again. I feel like there's a lot of times where, like you can see the imagery and connection to it. So it does kind of make sense. But I feel like Oda most likely had a loose idea, like he does with most of the story, but just ties it in when it's needed.
Yeah, I think he leaves his options aplenty, so he's not boxed in. I think that's his biggest strength and weakness at the same time. He leaves stuff very vague, so he's not boxed into one thing, but it can also kind of ruin his build up to like, to have certain importance or whatever. I mean, certain things like with the Nika stuff, like he probably left his son options open, but it made the Nika thing not hit as hard because, I think it still was a good reveal, but it could have been, alluded to more in the story. Not just through symbology, but words or actions. You know what I'm saying?
Hell, even
it works though.
What you call in Zoe, Frankie is wearing a Hito sun t-shirt. It literally spells out Hito with the sun as an O. And I'm like, at that point, like, that's clear and cut right there. We just didn't see it beforehand because, we just thought, hey, Frankie's wearing a random ass shirt. But
that doesn't count, bruh.
It is right there. I mean, you can search it up. But
that does not count.
There's so many things, man. Hell, even in Fishman Island, right? There's the whole conversation of bringing like the Fishman Island itself to the like surface of the sea level. Why? So that you can bring the sun to the entire population. So it could be retcon piece, or it could be just loose ideas. It just takes time, but now they're finally being put together.
By the way, everybody liked the stream. We got 16 people in here. like the stream, share the stream. What this so
I text the stream out, but I ain't put it on the other channels. I'm slipping.
Let me ask y'all this. So we talking about Mihawk a little bit. Let's take our votes and lock them in right now between who is stronger, Mihawk or Shanks. I'm gonna go one by one. JJ, what you got for me?
Man, my answer hasn't changed. I doubt it ever will. I've told you I'm a simple man with simple logic. And I see Zoro's main guy being Mihawk and Luffy's main guy being Shanks, and the importance that they bring to the story, it wouldn't make sense for the second guy to be stronger than the guy for the first guy. Shanks all day. It's easy to me.
Zane, let's hear it.
Mihawk, obviously.
That's fair. Preach, what you got?
Yeah, I agree with JJ. It's just like with the amount of love Oda shows to Shanks, I want to say Mihawk for so long, but it's like, I don't know, bro. I just can't see how it wouldn't be Shanks.
Zane, you was gonna explain some stuff. Let's hear it.
I was just gonna say about Shanks being like Luffy's equal. I mean, I can see that, but I don't see it as like that meaning anything, because Shanks isn't the Pirate King.
Yeah.
That's Shanks, true. There's probably a level at Pirate King that surpasses what Shanks is at. So I don't see that as a valid argument for that. But
one agenda.
Shanks' importance in the story definitely portrays that. So I can see the argument on that for sure.
Now, I know what argument Zane is talking about. There's one conversation between Pain and Naruto, but there's like an AI.
I have seen that before.
Everybody has the six paths of.
That was hilarious,
That's
bro.
Funny, bro. That's funny. What you got, Prince?
It's tough. It's like I can easily see, like it going either way. But if I had to choose one, I'm gonna give it to Shanks. Specifically because I think Oda preferred him. And I think that because Oda has a bias towards him, there's probably going to be something along the lines of, giving Shanks some type of favoritism in the story. And also because, he's been introduced since day one. So I think like it'll probably stem from that in terms of him being better. But I think it's very, very slight, but it really could go either way.
You know what's interesting too? Like Mihawk didn't do anything in Marineford, but at the same time, when he's like, "Yeah, I'm done with this war," there was no one that could stop him. Like he's like, "I'm out of here, bro." And no one's putting him in his place.
Shanks
is maybe the only one.
Akinu do better. Akinu would get his ass whooped. I ain't gonna lie. Mihawk.
No one could have put Mihawk in his place.
JJ, I mean, not JJ.
Like,
all
isn't
of us
that
except
crazy
for
that
Zane
you have
can agree that Mihawk is stronger than Akinu.
But you have Garp, Sengoku, Admirals, and all these guys. None of them could tell like Mihawk, "No, bro, you're fighting. You're a warlord. This is the one moment we need you." Nobody said anything to Mihawk. He just walked off. Yeah, that says the strength of Mihawk.
Well, I in defense for that, it could just be like you don't want more problems than you already have.
I mean, because they break off and try to fight Mihawk, then they got Shanks still to deal with too.
That's true, but at the same time, it's like if the warlords are not contributing, why are they even here? And at a certain point, you kind of have to put them in their place, because otherwise, then everyone else is like, "Yeah, I'm kind of done with this war. I'm not here to fight Shanks and Blackbeard."
Man, look, that was a Hall of Shame performance from all the warlords in Marineford. You got Ball Hancock fighting Marines, Mihawk standing around for like 90% of the war.
Yeah, Mihawk spending his time on Buggy out of all people.
Yeah, bro, what are you doing, bro? Like, for real.
Bro.
Only like interest in the war was quite literally just taking a quick shot at Whitebeard. Jozu came in, and he's like, "I bet." And then Vista skirmish, and then after that, just testing Luffy. That's it.
And Morio was so ass. They ordered him to be killed at the end of the war. Like, that's how you know what I mean. The warlords are so trash, bro. As far as like that job.
Morio, oh god.
But let me answer the question. All right. I've been a long time Mihawk fan, you know. Everybody knows how much I love Mihawk and Whitebeard, obviously my favorite two characters. But I've done some soul searching in this debate. And I think that, you know, for the longest I've just said, you know, Mihawk weaker, Whitebeard weaker. I think that they're equals, bro. I know that might sound like a cop out, but I feel like it's the same with Roger and Whitebeard. And like I've said plenty of times, clearly it's intentional. Whitebeard's bounty 500 million less than Rogers. Mihawk's bounty 500 million less than Shanks. Straw hat holder. Like it's intentional. These are supposed to be parallels across generations. And I think that they are equals. Now, if it came down to it, and let's say Mihawk is in the way of Shanks getting the One Piece, or Whitebeard is in the way of Roger getting the One Piece, then give me Roger and give me Shanks. But I think they're equals pretty much to a T, as close as you can get. I mean, my logic behind it, because, you know, the argument for Mihawk is always, well, Shanks has a sword, Mihawk is the world's strongest swordsman. And I think that just goes back to, you know, how important you think hockey is in this conversation. So my idea, and I've joked, but I really do really like Mihawk. Like, he is one of my favorite characters. For the idea of swordsmanship to really matter in One Piece, I think separating it from hockey makes it more impactful or important for their characters, that being Mihawk and Zoro, than just making it 1-to-1. Because do I want Mihawk to be the world's strongest swordsman because he got the strongest hockey with a blade in his hand? Or do I want him to be the world's strongest swordsman because he has the strongest swordsmanship, but he just also has crazy strong hockey because of that? I don't think merging them together does anything for his character. I think splitting it apart and making the path to be the world's strongest swordsman more than just hockey upgrade. And I mean, that's what we pretty much gotten from Zoro, right? Which is disappointing.
I do think, though, that it's tied, just like how the title of the King of the Pirates is tied to circumnavigation. I think that maybe the world's strongest swordsman title is tied to a black blade. You need to
for sure,
blade, right?
And I think the mask stuff goes with that. Prince 21 grams of your soul, right? That was explored with Hawk back in. I think when Zoro said to S-Hawk, you have more humanity than him, or, you know, you're more human than him, that goes back to that idea of a soul. So I believe that to make a black blade, you have to take some of those 21 grams of your soul and sacrifice it and permanently put it into your blade. And with Zoro, he's probably going to do 7 grams in each of his 3 blades. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. So I think with the black blade, it is the ultimate swordsman feat. I mean, we've only seen Mihawk as the strongest swordsman. Ryuma is the sword god. And Zoro, I mean, he's kind of like a mix of both. So I think it's definitely like that feat that only one person each generation has a chance of doing it. And it's something where, like, you have to dedicate your entire life of swordsmanship. I think so. Shanks, he's definitely a strong swordsman, but he didn't have that feat. And I think I agree, Krow. It's like something where, like, I think is you have to merge the sword and, like, the swordsman and sword are merging their souls. So instead of, like, putting it into that sword, you're merging both at the same time in some kind of ritual. And I think that kind of explains why, if you look at something like Shisui, why is Shisui ranked lower than something like Fujitori's sword? Well, I think it's because it still is that ranking, but when they say you could raise the rank, that's referring to Black Blade. So I think Black Blade would be, like, ahead of all the rankings, and only the swordsman can activate it. Only the swordsman that did that ritual. So, like,
yeah, that's why Zoro couldn't get, like, the full power from Shisui, because he didn't make it a black blade. Yeah,
and that would make sense for that. And then also, like, for Zoro, the answer to defeating Mihawk would, because how do you do something better than Yoru? If Yoru's already the strongest sword, and then it has a black blade on top of it, well, the answer for Zoro will obviously just be simple. It'd be 3 black blades.
Just his answer.
But yeah, like, I think that makes sense. Like, because if you look at how Oda's doing swordsman philosophy, even in Wano, you're seeing all of his swords reacting to him. You're seeing how Enma is respecting Zoro over time. He's literally testing him. And once Zoro treats his swords with so much care, he's like, yeah, I respect Zoro, but I still need to respect his strength and his ambition. So all of that was like the personality of the sword and the will of it. So I think, because another thing is like Enma and what's the other one? The one that Momo has?
Habikiri. Habikiri.
Yeah, it's like, bro, like the idea that Enma is already stronger than Shisui, and that's only one of the two dual blades. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I think there has to be something with Black Blade that kind of sets everything apart. And it also would make sense. Once Ryuma died, that potential for that sword is locked away forever. Because the ritual is swordsman with the sword.
And like he lives forever through the blade, but the blade just
because Ryuma is the one that awakened the potential.
Shimotsuki, though. It would have to be a Shimotsuki that could, like, his direct ancestor. I mean, descendant.
Yeah, that could be maybe possible, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea that they had their own time together. And once, because Ryuma awakened the potential, and then once he's dead, Shisui's kind of just respecting that, and it's more of a personal ritual. But I think when it comes to Mihawk, it's funny because Oda just hasn't given us enough where we can have a conversation about Mihawk without Shanks. Like,
and that's why that video
cool.
I sent y'all that thumbnail, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, what can I do without talking about Shanks in this video, bro? Now so I held up on it.
Because I'm doing a video on Black Blades right now. And like when I get to the Mihawk stuff, it's instantly I'm thinking about Shanks. And what I think is during their battles, or maybe just their one battle, we know Shanks is the observation killer, and Mihawk is observation Haki. Like, that's what he's known for. He's a Haki, or he's a Hawkeye. He's the clairvoyant, so, and he has those crazy eyes. I think that was like Shanks awakened that ability, observation Haki killer, is because of Mihawk. Like, Mihawk forced him to have to develop that skill. And then in turn, it's like, well, how do you counter that? I think Mihawk awakened his Black Blade because he needed something that could surpass that ability. So I think that was the thing where, like, once he awakened his Black Blade, it was kind of on par with Shanks. Bro, Shanks can literally shoot hockey missiles out of his sword. How do you counter that as a swordsman? I think Black Blade, it's more than just a physical enhancement. Like, there is that ornament hockey side to it where you have a sword where it can't be scratched at all. But I think on a more like spiritual level, I think we're going to see something crazy where the same way Shanks can project his hockey, you're going to see like an astral projection of the sword's will. So like Shisui, I don't know what it would be, but for Enma it could be like the Grim Reaper or something like demonic. And I think for like what's the one with Kuina's blade? Wadawi Chimonji, yeah. That one will be more like a calm samurai, maybe something like one of the more classic samurais. But I think they all have their own personality. You're gonna see it physically manifest, and that kind of makes sense.
The meaning of Wadawi Chimonji is straight road of harmony, so that perfectly.
What's that one famous samurai from Vagabond?
Musashi.
Yeah, like what if it's more like a reference to Musashi? That'd be cool.
I forgot. Roy
Bro, we already saw one manifest, although it wasn't in the manga. It was Griffin. Yep. Whenever he one-shot Kid.
Yeah.
That's
bro,
why
that scene was amazing.
See, this is why
I'm not even gonna lie.
Paid Naruto argument, the agenda piece thing, because they literally said, "Is Shanks gonna make a Haki Susanoo?" And then he proceeds to make a Haki Susanoo.
I think Black Blade will definitely awaken those abilities.
And he had the cleanest sword attack in the entire series, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Like the way he bolted. Yes, bro. How I know it's Roger's move, but Shanks did it way cleaner. If we're being,
know what I think? I know we don't play One Piece games because they suck ass. But There is a move that Mihawk has in one of the games called, it's like where he goes into this mode where and this could go back to what Preach was saying about like how do you counter the stuff they're doing, how they kind of probably was just building off each other and just learning as it was fighting. He has this move where it's called a perfect defense, where he can block any attack coming his way. So I think that kind of fits their nature. Shanks being this savage attacker. Well, I guess you won't say savage, but he's probably like this relentless offensive force. But Mihawk being like the perfect defense where he just cannot be hit by it. He has no scars.
Well, okay, so let's say, because I don't think Shanks can actually just kill his Haki completely, his observation Haki. I think it's more of like a fog with Mihawk just because of how powerful his Haki is. But
he can definitely.
Yeah, when you're incompetent Haki levels.
If we look at the
my bad, go ahead, bro.
If we look at the Black Blade as the physical ornament Haki, that means there's still an observation Haki level to a Black Blade awakening. So I think the sword can now react on its own will. Like, you're giving it the trust to have this kind of communication with you. So then like Yoru can now like you have a second pair of eyes basically. So now Yoru can defend Mihawk on its own without like you have so much trust.
Maybe it's kind of like Ultra Instinct, bro.
Yup,
it's like the sword automatically moves.
And that's what the move is like on the game. It's like a dome around him, where it's like any attack that comes, he deflects it. So what if Yoru just doing that automatically?
Yeah, I think there's.
And that's it.
Good.
And that's Zoro's like weakest spot in his Haki.
Yeah,
his observation.
Yeah, and he got some dope name. Like he got one move called 16-Day Moon. That shit is hard. Like, and that kind of fits like the Celestial Dragon stuff too, though, because remember Doflamingo's attack with 16 holy bullets. And you know Oda does sometimes give these games names before he uses them, because he did it with Jack, and he did it with somebody else. So 16-Day Moon being one of Mihawk's named attacks, that's fire, bro.
Now let's say if Enma is like this demonic projection, this demonic presence of a being in the physical form, I think Mihawk's would be like, have you ever seen those biblical depictions of an angel and how crazy those look? I think that would be cool for Yoru.
Or vampire though. I mean, but
vampire, yeah.
Zoro using Ashura. Do we think that like that kind of bleeds into the idea of the physical projections of your Haki?
I think so.
Yeah, pretty much.
Something with his philosophy, how he was raised, and this is like him kind of foreshadowing it.
So I think maybe the Black Blade is like, Zoro can make Ashura using the projection of his Haki. But once you get a Black Blade, maybe you can get like the sword to do its own projection of how it wants to be viewed. Kind of like, like a Zanpakuto in Bleach, right? Y'all seen that? Well, no, y'all don't.
Yeah, I view it like a mix of that and like a JoJo stand.
And you get true awareness of your Zanpakuto. Like when you can really bond with your Zanpakuto, when you learn his name, that's when you can do your Shikai and your Bankai or whatever by learning like the true nature of it. That's probably something similar to Black Blade, bro. Because all of these dudes, because Oda even name dropped Musashi, like being like an inspiration for Zoro. So that's why I've always looked at the path to being the world's strongest swordsman, a much more spiritual thing. Because if you look at Musashi's path, it was more than just like might. It was like a lot of self-discipline and like conquering yourself and your own desires more than anything. So the spiritual part is where the Black Blade stuff gonna come in.
Yeah, and I feel like Krow, he's been starting to do it now, specifically because of the fact that he now understands the origins, name, and will of the swords, specifically because he was able to understand how everything was tied together, right? He figured out that cursed swords, they're not cursed, it's more so swords that have their own will. And the reason why the regular swordsmen that usually die because of it is because most of the time they can't either get strong enough or properly enact said sword's will. So I think now with Zoro being able to do so, maybe it ties to the voice of all things, where he can start literally, talking and discussing with his swords. I mean, we also seen Oda make in an SBS, anthropomorphized versions of the swords, right? So, I mean, that idea is there. So it could easily be a thing where it gets to a point where Zoro is so in tune with his swordsmanship and just the specific swords he has to the point where if he wants to make it a black blade, he's gonna have to have that inner conversation.
For sure.
And I was thinking too with Usopp and the Going Merry. I mean, you had a projection of his soul, like a physical, physical manifestation. And the explanation was that they cared so much about Going Merry, so that's why. And if you think about it, it's kind of similar to Zoro with his swords. He put so much care and effort into it. Same thing with what was I forgot the Logtown sword. I forget the names, bro. There's so many swords.
Yubashiri?
No,
Kitetsu?
not that. Kitetsu, yeah, Kitetsu. So like,
oh,
with
it's
the
on what he
Kitetsu
still
blade,
got. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So when he with Kitetsu at Logtown, I mean, Zoro had the philosophy from the past that the cursed blade is just like a crazy wheel that's trying to like earn its respect and test the owner. So it's like the same thing. Like Kitetsu respected Zoro because he had no fear, and he kind of understood him on a spiritual level beyond just like, oh, this is a cursed blade. Like he truly understood what the sword was about, and so it's like that. Go ahead.
Quick side note.
No, I wasn't trying. I was thinking out loud. My bad.
Like best like nonchalant aura gamble by far. Like just the most.
Yeah, he was aura farming, no doubt. Like
in front of Tashigi, bro. He was doing it for the hose.
Bro, trying to pull the huzz.
No, but that's a legendary moment. For sure.
I mean, I think it might lead to you know how we look at like the creation of a devil fruit. You know, like we'll like imagining something into creation, and a bunch of us think that hockey is a part of that. So what if like creating a black blade is like willing your sword into life, like giving life to your, even if it's through sacrificing your own. And maybe when people made the original devil fruits, they had to sacrifice their life, because that's a powerful thing you're creating, right? So sacrificing a piece of your life to do that makes sense. So creating a black blade by sacrificing a piece of your life could be a similar situation to when people created devil fruits in the past.
Yep.
And then
I'm gonna step out for like 5 minutes.
I remember in Wano they said, I think it was the Onimaru, and they're talking about like it's kind of implying that there's an intense battle that is going to cause a black blade to awaken, or many battles. And that's kind of the same thing with how he said with Mihawk and Shanks. Like it was probably that battle that Mihawk awakens his black blade.
You know, I could easily see it being that. And then because like the battle was so intense that it dragged on to Mihawk getting the blade, and then with that he was able to easily beat any other swordsman that came in the way, and then boom, there comes your world's strongest swordsman. So yeah, I think like it's very plausible, and this whole black blade discussion, I can't wait, because I really think that like at the end of the day, almost every single upgrade, not just black blades, but every single like straw hat upgrade as well, it'll boil down to hockey. It'll boil down to like innate wills and whatnot, and that conversation. And that's what I think we should be expecting once we get back into Elbaf from the flashback.
Do you think that Mihawk can cut a poneglyph?
That's a good question, because I've thought
about
this.
If anyone can do it, it would have to be Mihawk, right, with the black blade. If it's possible.
Speaking, like if the Wano is a like what you call it, country of swordsmen and samurai and whatnot, and the Kozuki clan made poneglyphs and are able to write in poneglyphs.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like it would be cool if the way they wrote on them was the person who had a black blade was the one who wrote it.
Like black like chisel.
He carved it in. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Or I would imagine Mihawk's knife.
I would just imagine that somebody that carved it. I think like hockey being imbued into it is what makes it a poneglyph. You know, you cut it, and then you do whatever you got to do, and you can imbue a specific type of hockey into it, which protects it after the fact.
That makes sense.
Like an armament version of the hockey knot.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. If you look at the sea stone, right, that they used, the nail specifically, because they said that sea stone originates from Wano. So if the sea stone was white, which like Hawkins used on Law, then if you put hockey into it, it's what turns into this poneglyph color. And then the red poneglyphs maybe Conqueror's hockey put into it. Like I don't know. That actually sounds interesting.
Yeah, I think Sea Stone might have been created through hockey. Like they found a way to transmute water into Sea Stone using hockey, or they had a machine.
Yeah.
Unless it's just a natural substance. I don't know that for sure, so.
I don't think so, because even if it was, right, then there's still got to be some connection to why hockey itself is able to affect Devil Fruit losers, including Logias, like in this way. That's pretty much exactly the same as Sea Stone. So I think there's probably some correlation with it, and also with Rio being a main technique in Wano to be learned like as hockey, pretty much. I don't know. There's a lot of like pieces in terms of like hockey in general that is in Wano, but we still don't know the base of like where everything comes from. But I think we'll get that soon enough.
Yeah, hopefully Oda explains hockey like on a spiritual, transcendent level.
Yeah. Now he really does,
because it's like it's a fundamental force of the One Piece universe.
Yeah.
It's like gravity in their universe, pretty much.
I think that also what people really, I think, miss out on in terms of One Piece, like when we compare it to like other verses and whatnot, power scaling, all these types of things, is that most of the time when we discuss powers or like how things work in the One Piece verse, it's just like we know how the system works, but we don't know exactly like the reason for it, right? I mean, Chakra was very like detailed. They talked about origins. They talked about different elementals, how things work, advantages, disadvantages. So it was easy to follow. But other than the fact that hockey is a counter to devil fruits, and then there's all different types of devil fruits, we don't really know what the base of hockey or devil fruits are. We don't know the actual origin behind them. Still,
do we know why exactly hockey counters devil fruits? Like, we know it is a counter,
because it's a spirit, I guess. Just because you're using spirit,
maybe
spiritual
it's like,
energy.
But that would make sense for conquerors, I guess. Armament.
I feel like armament is just standard, but like my perception of it is that armament and observation is just a byproduct of using the simpler versions of Conqueror's hockey. Because the battles that we see, right, with Roger and Whitebeard, they're not touching each other. Rocks, like all these big clashes where they're not doing anything at all. Garp, right? It's using these simple principles of advanced armament and observation, because like Rio inside internal destruction, not touching things. So I think that it's learning the basics through armament and observation and using those fundamentals to understand the advanced use of Conquerors. Because beforehand, Conquerors was quite literally just, oh, he's knocked out, that's all it's used for. And that like mini clashes when two Conquerors came together, but it wasn't used as an actual like fighting mechanic or a system until now. So
I think Oda made a mistake.
Yeah, no, he did for sure.
I don't think he planned on doing advanced conquerors like until he got to Elbaf, bro. But I think he was forced to do it because he made Kaido so strong. I think that the progression was gonna be Whole Cake Island, observation advance, Wano, armament advance, Elbaf, conquerors advance. Because it makes sense fitting like how Elbaf, it just makes sense. But he probably was like, I ain't gonna lie, I gotta Luffy gonna need a little bit more than just Rio.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, I'm glad he did that.
I am also glad, because it gave us such crazy moments, and it also allows us to enjoy these like Elbaf flashback, Wano flashback a lot more. So,
and it separates the power tiers well.
Okay.
I think it works because it works, but I think it would have been cool if the introduction, because it's kind of a little redundant when Kaido is like, well, you need to learn Ryuro to be able to hurt him. Oh, actually, never mind. That's not even enough. Let's learn advanced conquerors. If Ryo would have somehow been good enough to take out Kaido, it wouldn't have made sense, obviously. But if he would have been able to use that, that would have been cool. But then get into God Valley, not God Valley, Elbaf, where then you have to use Conqueror's Haki to beat these Holy Knights. It would have made sense to there is a form of Conqueror's Haki. Gabon could have been the guy that taught him about, because it seemed like an old man got to teach him about all of it stuff.
Yeah.
So Gabon introducing advanced conquerors would have been cool. But instead, now he's just like, hey, watch how you do it. Like, what the fuck you mean? You know what I'm saying? Because in the flashback, it just seems like the only answer was just use more. So what do you mean, watch how you do it?
Yeah. I think that, to be fair, though, there might... It might be that, or it could be really just, Luffy battle IQ in terms of picking up stuff very quick. Because even with observation haki, like Future Sight, he didn't, understand that there was an advanced level until he saw Katakuri doing it multiple times. And then he started being like, okay, wait, hold on. Did Rayleigh tell me about this? And then he went back, Rayleigh flashback, and then, understanding observation haki to its fundamentals. And then even with Brule, when he was discussing observation haki, how Katakuri used it, Brule's like, oh, okay, so you can pick up on shit. So I think maybe same thing, when Luffy did it with Kaido. And then Kaido, came back and he... I think it was 1042 or right before Luffy got knocked out in Gear 4. He copied Future Sight and was like, you're not the only one who can pick up on shit. So I think there is some testament to Luffy picking up on techniques early on, but this idea of Elbaf being the main Conqueror's hub, I fully agree with. But I think it's for the next two, Sanji and Zoro. I think it's for them to really learn. I think Elbaf for Luffy is him sitting down and understanding lore. He needs to understand where his power comes from and who he is. I think that's it.
Shout out to the go. Look, this flashback has been amazing, but when I saw that little color spread where it's Luffy, Rocks, Gabon, not Gabon, look at me. Luffy, Rocks, Garp, and Roger. And I saw Luffy, I said, man, I miss Luffy, bro. I really do miss him.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we get back to current day, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like this flashback probably got one more chapter.
What do we think his reaction is to this flashback? Is he sleeping?
He probably heard Roger.
I think he'll be interested. He'll be interested because Roger was in it.
But does he get that part of the story? Because I think we're just the ones that learn about, God Valley. Loki probably only telling him about just the part with his dad.
Yeah. So if that's the case,
yeah, true.
Harold's stronger than Prime Roger.
Whoa.
Man,
absolutely not.
Man, please.
He's up there, but I would give it to Roger.
Not nobody bowing down to the Celestial Dragon stronger than the King of the Pirates? What?
Bro ripped his horns off.
That was supposed to be
he essentially ripped his crown off for Emu. That's what that was supposed to symbolize.
Bro, the King of the Cucks versus the King of the Pirates? Come on, bro. What are we doing?
Oh, god damn.
But bro, that opening
scene. Wait, you call Harold the King of the Cuck, but Rayleigh got the one Roger was fighting all over the seas for. I don't know.
Bro, check, but we got Portland's D Rouge though.
Bro, but listen though, Shaggy was their friend, bro.
And it ain't was he supposed to take it?
He had no choice but to be friend zone after that. She chose
This man Harold can't even marry who he wants.
It's not friends because it's friends due to circumstance, bro.
It happened. Look, I'd rather Roger just respect. Look, you know what? She ain't feeling me. She want to rock with my homeboy. Cool. I'm gonna go find me.
And that's what he did.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
That is not what he did. He attacked. He tried to attack the ship. We taking her once and for all. She kicked him upside his head and was like, "Let's take the treasure." That's what
once
happened.
Once he realized that she was feeling Ray, he backed off. And I mean, if that's
listen,
then Gloriosa, then Gloriosa cook. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you're the most powerful pirate on the seas, bro. You just finna let your girl that you're in love with get away from you? Not saying kidnap her or something. That was crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
He was willing to do it. Bro, he wasn't gonna really kidnap her. I think he just wanted to see her, bro.
He definitely did.
Sleep on Rouge all you want. I ain't gonna lie. When Oda brings Rouge back and draws her in his current style, she's gonna be probably the most beautiful woman in One Piece.
Bro, Rouge is bad. I don't care what nobody says.
We just know them old. Well, Oda used to make everybody forehead 10 inches long for some reason.
Yeah.
He could, but now the modern day art with how you draw women, Rouge is gonna be the baddest. Except for maybe
My girl, she stepped out the room, and the birds was falling out the sky. Like
I don't think, bro.
Shaki, but look at Shaki now.
Nah, Shaki is top one. in her younger days.
Nojiko is the
best, bro. Because Boa was
girl.
already back then. Boa was already beating Rouge.
But that was later, bro. That was like 500. You know, well, look, it was different, bro. I'm telling you, it's different. You're right. But next time we see her, I will bet money. We're gonna see her again. Next time we see her, she's gonna look way better. And she's D-Clan?
She's cool.
D-Clan too?
Top one still.
I say in terms of like actually like ride or die.
Coworker fine.
Eris, I think takes the cake.
Man, Eris is a fucking evil.
This is
the baddest woman in One Piece is Nojiko, bro. Y'all go see, bro. Did y'all not see the cover spread for this chapter?
I mean,
even though they taking her melanin away, that's the problem.
Yeah,
but that's every One Piece character at this point.
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm. Even in the recent episode, like with the mini version of Boa Seraphim, he basically looks white, and I was like, "What the hell is the Lunarian like?" Description?
You know, Toei is lit. I'm telling you, is judged, bro.
I have a random question for y'all.
Let's see.
How would y'all feel about a law Seraphim?
Ooh,
that's nasty.
What will we gain?
And he gets his same. Well, he gets the Lunarian genes, but he gets the devil fruit back.
And he can do the immortality surgery.
But I just don't get, why don't they do Admiral Seraphim?
Hey, uncomfortable conversations.
Very uncomfortable.
Like Akainu Seraphim, bro.
Maybe they're not that strong, bro. You know, they wanted to go with the
Well, maybe it has something to do. Maybe it has something to do with one of them or them being Logias, bro.
You gotta come over to Senior Pink.
Yeah, it's probably Logia. It could be just like a morality thing. Like, you know, we don't look at pirates as worthful. I mean, humans, damn near.
Yeah.
Before we're gonna
use the pirates. Garp Seraphim. The cloning people that are actively in your army already probably would have been looked at. You know how does HR explain that to the regular?
Bro,
HR.
But a Lunarian Garp is nasty.
They don't care about ethics and morals, bro. Let's be real. This is the world government we're talking about.
You're right. So you rather clone the people that you didn't get permission from? You know what I'm saying? You don't got to worry about getting permission from the warlord.
That morally better?
A tornado
because they're pirates.
What the?
That's Croc. Oh, that's true. That's Croc. What is his devil? He's a Logia.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is very true.
In that case.
But we gotta see if he got his fruit though, because he might not.
It's probably just like a moral. I mean, like a respect factor thing. Yeah. Like we're not gonna clone the admiral.
Volunteer, but
maybe
I can't see any admiral volunteer.
Maybe Sengoku was like, "No, we're not doing this." Just like he had the final word.
Hizuru would definitely be an admiral that would allow him to be. He's just a cog in the machine. Why not have a few more? Why not?
What level in the hierarchy do y'all think, like the full-grown Seraphim lie? Like, do you think they're past the Holy Knights?
Oh yeah. I mean, bro, what have you seen from Holy Knight so far that we've been putting them like past Zoro shit?
I feel like at the same time, I feel like Garb isn't like, if they're like, we need to draw some blood, Garb, it's just for like, it's easy to lie to Garb and trick him. I feel like he wouldn't even care.
Yeah, Garb's a
you gotta get Garb.
I think Garb would be furious if he found out.
If he found out, he'd be furious.
Destroy Marine HQ if he seen a Lunarian version of him walking around. Like, are you crazy? He would kill the Seraphim.
Yeah, and he's like, I already had a taken ace. I don't want another grandson.
You feel me? He would be pissed off, bro. But you also gotta look at it for the fact that like these are kind of like they're basically creating like slaves, and
yeah, they are.
You don't want to it's just a bad look. Like, I got a slave version of you over here. I'd rather just do it with these pirates that work for us. You know what I'm saying?
See, no, it does make sense because if you really do also think about it, the Marines are a public face, right? So if they're defaming a public face with, like, oh, these are the 3 admirals, the strongest force in the Navy that protects the celestial dragons from everything, and then we also make clones of them. Like, I feel like that, like, disparages them entirely.
It's kind of like, bro, the Seraphim have one of the most
You could also look at it like as a slap in the face to the warlords.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, like, oh, you're easily replaceable. Fuck you guys.
But
literally like a statement to make.
That for the Marines, like, if it gets to the point where you're cloning the Marines, then why the fuck am I joining the Marines? Just clone the people you already got. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or like, why am I trying to rise up in the ranks if they just cloning the fucking admirals?
Literally, yeah, that's a good point.
I was gonna say though, like, the Seraphim have this maybe one of the most tragic backstories, and during the whole Egghead arc, we don't even get like a moment of that.
Born a slave.
Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, we don't even get like a second to just process what's actually happening. No one in Straw Hats, not even Vegapunk, is like really kind of breaking down what this really is.
I do think.
I think we're gonna get a section where we're gonna find out that they're not gonna be able to be controlled at a grown age. They're gonna have their own free will, because we saw that with Boa already. Like the Boa Seraphim.
If you can use Haki, you got a soul. So I think that, but I don't think it's
they might not. They might like be a part of the world government's final assault, but they get turned halfway through the battle, or even before that.
I like that,
but I don't think
because didn't Boa fight her?
I like that too. The Morge theory.
Yeah, I mean, it's been around before Morge, but
yeah. Yeah.
Nah, Morge the GOAT. No slander.
Go ahead, preach. My bad.
No, I was just thinking out loud, bro. But it's just interesting, like, the Seraphim don't get the shine they deserve.
It's gonna be a big thing, though, and it is. I mean, even though it was done with bad intentions, you have effectively recreated the Lunarian race and given it a chance to repopulate.
So,
but they're gonna be giants, though.
Maybe that's like Vegapunk's excuse for it.
Yeah, that's gonna be how you rationalize it.
Yeah.
Mihawk Seraphim.
And
Boa Seraphim.
I'm about to say, the true wills of who the characters are that they're based on is going to come out to be really important from the end of the final war as well. Mihawk and Boa and Kuma and Jinbei, they're going to show out to be really helpful parts on the positive side, but maybe even Kazuki Moria too. Once we learn a little bit more about him, he may be more important than we even realize.
This probably won't happen, but it would be cool to see, like, maybe a handful of the Seraphim start their own crew at the end of the story.
And that would be, if they all stay together. That's, bro, who beating them besides like the Straw Hats?
I don't know if you can keep all of them together. Like, that'd be pretty chaotic.
They're gonna be too big. They're gonna be
the kind of crazy. The Moria thing was probably one of the biggest reveals of the flashback too. I mean, it wasn't in the flashback, but it was,
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
It's really crazy
that he's a Kazuki.
That fucking cover story was so ass that is the biggest reveal. Kazuki Moria. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, who fucking cares? It's a dope reveal.
It's just wild that he's related. Reveal. Yeah.
It makes sense.
I thought we were gonna get some Ryuma stuff, bro. That's what I thought we were gonna get.
Look at that. We in Wano still. Like, all the stuff that we left in Wano as, doing the main story, we know it was very rushed. We could tell. So all that shit we left off on.
Man, they could have went and got a good look at Pluton or something.
I'm about to say, Onigashima being underwater, that like caught my attention immediately. Like, who moved that big old thing already? Like, we ain't even explore that part.
Is Yamato eating apples and fucking Kazuki Moria, bro. Let's have some shit. OT? Wow.
OT people were happy.
Nah, I think
Beast Pirates have been.
Well, I mean, OT is now officially a.
Well, we'll have to see more of Wano.
OT is Straw Hat what?
Straw Hat Fleet member.
Where does she If OT joins the crew right now, how strong is she?
If they're fucking with
she's probably about Jinbei's level, I'd say.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's where I put OT near Jinbei level.
OT over Jinbei.
All right, now.
I don't think she's as strong as Jinbei.
Fishman Karate is putting her to sleep, bro.
Man, did Sanji just tank Fishman Karate to the face, bro?
Bro, Sanji's different though.
Bro,
give me OT, bro.
No.
And I don't think that I don't think that Jinbei Seraphim was using hockey. Was he on Sanji? I don't think he was.
Confirmed that all the Seraphim know hockey in the Viva course. So.
Yeah, they know hockey. I wonder if they learned it like after or because that was their first time during combat, right?
Look, man.
No, I'm not trying to take it away. I'm not trying to take it away from him.
I feel like, but that is a good like point of contention. I've noticed like in the One Piece fandom, they think that just because somebody isn't coding, not you, but like for example, people like Queen never use hockey. I think people forget that not everyone does the black coding, but that doesn't mean you're not using hockey, bro. You're still at this point in the story. Anybody that's fighting, that's not like the bum ass straw hats like Nami them.
Bro, any commander is using hockey.
Yeah, they're always using. There's no turning off your like. This ain't a Shanks and Mihawk sword, dude. There's no turning off your hockey. They're fighting using hockey, bro. Like Queen was using hockey when he tried to cut Sanji's neck off. He used hockey. All of these people are using hockey, bro.
That's how you fight in the One Piece world. That's how you compete with strong, like just even medium tier pirates is by using hockey. So yeah, I never got that. I never understood that, bro. Like it's just you don't have to. It goes without saying that those type of people are not they are using hockey. But you know, agendas live, man.
The agenda gotta take precedent.
So one thing I was confused about, why did they show Impel down in the beginning?
Was that because it was one of the guys. He was in the Impel Down talking about the Harold.
Oh, because Harold attacked their ship, right?
Yeah, before he was. Oh yeah, Lane Kiffin going to LSU. Yeah, I don't care about.
Oh, speaking of, bro, that's a terrifying sight to see. A giant shadow leap out and one shot your entire ship.
I mean, you know, me personally,
he ain't just a regular giant.
If I was a pirate, he's not one shot.
Dude, he's colossal, bro.
That's crazy, bro. That's Titan level.
Bro,
I have a question. How do y'all think those giant shadows? This is off topic, but do y'all think those giant shadows in Thriller Bark could be the Galila?
Oh, the Galila. Oh,
maybe they're frozen, and it's like really misty right there. It looks like the weather's all like either rainy or cold or something.
You might be.
They're frozen.
That's actually a good theory, especially because Water 7 is not too far off.
Yep. I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, bro, I never really thought of it like that. And Oda tried to make it seem like Harold wasn't. Like, he said something.
He referenced
this chapter. I forgot what he said, but
they said,
he
like,
tried.
You in the
he compared it.
Triangle. Or
yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "No, we already know to steer clear of that area." So it kind of implies that the legend of it was already existing before.
You might be onto something. I haven't heard that theory yet.
But ain't they in Punk Hazard? We see them in Punk Hazard though, right? What's good, Will of Dreams?
I don't know, but it's not confirmed that that's them though. But because these are like ancient giants, bro. Those weren't big enough, in my opinion, to fit the description of what we get of what Harold and what's his face, the dude in Elbaf, the old dude in Elbaf. Remember their conversation?
Not Hadruden, bro, the bomb, bro, Ja Rule, yeah.
Yeah,
right?
Ja Rule.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
That's so funny.
But yeah, they were talking about it. They were like Oni class giants, and those are like Titanic sized giants, bro. So it's just like they're gonna be like have to be in the ocean outside of a building somewhere.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because Punk Hazard is like, I mean, they probably are related to the Galileo giant. Because when we see the little silhouette behind rocks when he brings them up, it perfectly matches the ones we saw in Punk Hazard. But Punk Hazard was like a tropical island before it. So like that freezing, was they already frozen doing it when the island was regular or whatever? Maybe from the from the old user or the he ain't know me. I don't know, but it could be like those are like the original ancient giants too. You know what I'm saying?
True, but I always thought I look back at it and it looks like they're like standing still. There's no movement. It looks like they're frozen in place. All we see is the eyes gleaming, but eyes can gleam through ice.
And having like Rocks being over there to kind of hint at that would work. Like that would fit Oda. Like you know what he do, like Florian.
Well, yeah, it just kind of makes sense when you said it because it's like Water 7. We know they created Pluton at Water 7, the ancient Galila crew, probably, right? So, and that's really like Water 7 was the island right before Thriller Bark, so it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
But did they have wings?
Who?
The
no. These. Nah, these.
Oh wait, no, that was
they looked like they just
that was the they're like emu.
That was in Skypiea, wasn't it?
Like emu shit.
Yeah, that was in Skypiea. It was just like the shadow, right? That made them look that big for the ones from Skypiea, right? So what if it's a similar thing with that though?
It could be, honestly, but I just think it, like how Preach was just saying, how close it was to Water 7 and how big we know they probably were, because they need to be like god tier weapons to be like a big part of Rox's plan.
My bad.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Rox, that's Rox's problem planning this shit, bro. That's why you. Sorry. Roger ain't playing.
Same with Law and Luffy. It's like a Law and Luffy scenario.
It's like Sanchez Zoro too, bro.
My whole thing is because the Florian Triangle and those monsters are a rumor that's existed. No one's tried to go find it.
I mean, who want to go? You know what I'm saying? That ain't something that's
true. They made Thriller Bark look like a basketball in comparison.
Like even if you do go out and seek them out, then what? They go beat the shit out you, kid. Like,
I'm not saying most people, maybe not most people, but like Roger's crew or something like that. Like maybe Luffy.
I'm pretty sure Roger probably did go.
Rocks.
We're gonna get a flashback where we see somebody. I mean, it's gonna obviously it's important now. If it's been brought up, because if you just look at this, like this, how you know which arcs Oda wrote, like had planned from the start. Elbaf, Wano, all of them have connections to these pre-time skip arcs, like heavy connections, not just mentions or whatever. So in this flashback and all this mentions of the Galila Giants and the Florian Triangle, like just shows that he was bluffing when he was like he was thinking about skipping Elbaf. Boy, no, you was not. How was you gonna skip all this? I'm probably got to dip a little soon though, fellas.
Yeah, we can.
Well, I mean, we talked about pretty much everything in this chapter and then some.
We touched everything. And we privileged to have another chapter next week. I don't see no break on the end of this.
Yeah,
what's the chapter?
Man, Oda's just on a tear recently, man.
Quick thoughts on Loki.
Trying to get over before the year is over. The flashback, you're trying to get it over.
I think the flashback.
Am I tripping, or is this one of Oda's greatest runs?
It is, yeah.
Easy. That's why One Piece returned to the #1 manga this selling wise this year. But I think it's definitely gonna be I think the flashback ends next chapter to me.
Look, man, I gotta know whose sword that is because Oda shows it again on the giant tree. Is that Herald sword? Is that ancient giant?
It's too big for Herald, bro. Paul, like it's a big ass sword.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's like Oars.
The giants that
level
we see
sword
in Triangle, though.
Yeah, maybe it's a Galila Giant's weapon, bro.
But you can go ahead and wrap it up, man. It was a dope stream. We definitely touched everything. Then had some more deeper conversations. I'm sorry my computer decided to take a shit on me in the middle of the stream, but I'm working on getting that fixed already. I'm gonna buy a new one. It's Black Friday, a lot of sales going on. So yeah, It was fun. It was fun. This was a dope chapter, but it was also kind of like a setup chapter. I think next chapter it's gonna be crazy.
Definitely.
Anything to say, fellas, before we got in?
Make sure
Man,
like
I
the
just hope
stream.
we see.
Yeah, like
One of my things. I hope we see Loki and Shanks confrontation before the flashback ends. That's all I want to see.
Okay. Bet.
Hey, man, if it happens, it happens. He did it to Kid.
I mean, he beat
wouldn't
him,
doubt it.
I doubt it was a low diff, but he beat him.
With us being introduced to Shangara in this chapter, I want to spend a little bit more time in the Holy Knights era. You know what I'm saying? I want to see if we can see anything between Shangara and Shandora when it comes to Skypiea. Just wondering if there's any similarity just architecturally. We ain't got to spend too much time, but I just want to be able to see, where the Holy Knights spend their days. That's something that we haven't gotten before, and I think this would be a good time, especially with Harold being able to give us that access now. So maybe not a lot of time because we should wrap this flashback up, but just to see where the Holy Knights spend time would be interesting to me.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
and like always, y'all, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody that came through. I mean, like streams in general, like it's great to see participation, whether it's people with love, or whether it's people who like want to talk crazy sometimes. But it's all love at the end of the day. So we're just glad to discuss One Piece, because there's just so many things about a story that you can pick your brain on and just like easily talk about, theorize for days. So we're just glad to have an audience that loves to do it with us. So we appreciate you guys.
make sure you guys like the stream, share the stream.
Appreciate,
we
everybody.
We touched on it earlier, but man, like, we need to see Luffy again, bro. It's crazy.
I miss my
his
boy.
personality is literally the soul of One Piece, and I feel like it's kind of underrated at this point because he's the main character, but he's not whiny Deku. He's not like a boring Ichigo guy, and I like Ichigo, but Luffy is just like, he's just different, bro.
Nah, he's fucking boring. I love Ichigo, but he's boring.
He's boring, yeah, he's boring. Like, you know what I'm saying? Luffy is just like, personality is crazy. Like, his energy is insane.
Yeah, he has that Goku vibe.
That kid Goku, like specifically.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
And I was watching Egghead Island, and it's just, man, I just miss Luffy, man.
Just rewatched.
We on chapter 1167. We ain't seen Luffy since 1152. I don't know the exact date, but when you add in the breaks and everything, that's got to be like August, September, something like that, right? It's been a while.
I think
it's been a minute, man.
I was rewatching Sabaody when they first went. Man, Luffy is just fucking hilarious, bro. Bro,
he's the soul, bro. He is the soul to the entire series.
Shout out to the GOAT, man.
He is.
See, I think another thing that's like a low-key underrated is that now with Gear 5 coming back, if you really see it, I think some of that pre-time skip humor is starting to come back again, because now he has like soulless in his strength. He's able to just casually riff shit, just like talk about random things. So